Is it morning? I woke up in an unfamiliar room. I instantly realized that what happened yesterday was no dream. That's right. I was in a room in the tavern instead of the tower. I would be working here starting today. I tried to fix my outfit before heading downstairs. Man, early riser.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. It felt weird seeing him greet me like that, especially when I just woke up.
You're up early.
The same to you, Ash. The man I'd spoke with the past few days was having an elegant morning tea. It was before opening time, so it might be a service for lodging guests. While I was thinking that, Ash stared at me while holding onto his teacup. He was smiling playfully. What? Is there something on my face?
It's the first time I've seen you like that. Quite refreshing, really. Oh, and to answer your question, you've got some jewel marks around your mouth.
I was caught off guard. I didn't think I'd see Ash first thing in the morning. You went downstairs to greet the world and didn't wash your face? Girl. And I'd lived as a man all my life, so I never quite took care of my appearance. Girl!
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're ready for today.
I ignored the gruff call of the owner and headed back into my room. I'm going to go wash my face!
What's the matter? Her face was all red.
Beats me.
Uh-huh. I could hear Ash snickering as I ran off. Uh-huh. That was too embarrassing! And with that, a new day began in a way I'd never experienced before. How dare he snicker. Here's the egg and nut wrap, herbal rib roast, and 3 ales. Hey, I want another ale! Got it! Right away! It wasn't as busy as yesterday, but there were a lot of customers today. I left the kitchen to the owner and was alone in the dining hall. What would have happened if I hadn't offered to help? I was so busy I didn't have time to think of the answer, and time continued to pass.
Good work. You can call it a day now.
Thank you very much.
By the way, sorry I had you working so late into the evening.
Huh? When I looked out the window, it was just as dark as yesterday. I was working that long? I didn't take breaks or eat anything. I was impressed and also a bit shocked at myself.
So what will it be? Are you going to stay the night again?
What should I do? Not going back 2 nights in a row actually won't be that big of a problem. But I thought of the person I saw out of the corner of my eye. He was so focused writing something that he didn't hear our conversation. We hadn't spoken since the morning pleasantries. Maybe it was because of that I didn't want to leave. Then, just one more night.
Okay. Just make yourself at home and use anything you want.
I will. And this continued for the next 3 years. The next day, I woke up at the tavern again. It wasn't a dream. I awoke with a sense of relief. The next day, and the day after, I stayed at the tavern without returning to the tower. And by doing that, I lived a life as a girl each day. He became a part of my life, and gradually we spent more time together. We greeted each other in the morning and ate breakfast together before opening. Aww. And after learning the ropes here, I was able to take more breaks. I used that time to talk with him. When the sun set and the tavern closed, I said my goodbyes to end the day. I did feel a little guilty. I'd been completely skipping my work as a handyman. I'd also stopped visiting Francisca, though I used to go all the time. But if I returned to the tower or to Francisca, I had the feeling my life here would vanish like a dream. If I returned as the man Jed, maybe the red eye would return too. I would live a life in fear of being called a witch again. Being pushed by that fear, I continued to cling on to life here. does the illusion break? Or does it? I was pulled away from my sweet dream and woke up. It was dark all around me. This was not the tower. It wasn't the bed I've dreamed was burning. Who was I? I'm not Jed or the witch. Then, who am I? I'm cold. I rubbed my arms with my palms. It felt like I was thrown out into the cold and desolate world on my own. Oh. Alright. I think this is the last choice. Let me just check something real quick. I got my walkthrough here so I know which one I need to do for which ending. Okay, so for the Traveler ending, I need to go to sleep. The Lynx ending will be going down to the tavern. Okay, well, in we go, I guess. Let's see what kind of crazy ending we get from this. I should go to sleep. I climbed into the warm sheets and soon dozed off. My vision faded and I fell into a dream. What kind of dream, girl? Counter customer. Hey girl, the usual. Sure. Duck roast in a large mug, please.
Gotcha.
You got any recommendations for today? The owner said we have some fresh vegetables. Veggies. Well, maybe once in a while. Then I'll take the veggie stew set. Sure thing. I became more skilled in this line of work by the day. I was also starting to remember what the regulars like to eat. Because of that, I was also able to take small breaks here and there.
You're like the mascot of the tavern now.
I'm nothing like that. During my breaks, I always stood here, right next to Ash, who sat at the same table reading books every single day.
Oh, really? There seem to be many customers who come here to see you.
No way. Hey, can you take my order? Right away. Sorry, I need to go.
Phew.
They were always short breaks, so I wasn't able to talk too much. But I was actually pretty satisfied with it. Ash, on the other hand. I took care of the orders and quickly returned to my usual position. I'm sorry, we were still in the middle of something.
You really are popular.
There was something pointed about the way he said that. That's not true. It's just a part of my job.
Yes, I know that. Of course I do.
Oh. I have not seen this expression on his face before. He looks genuinely ticked. I didn't think that was possible.
I just don't really like it.
I'd never seen Ash act like this. It was like he was pouting or sulking. I think Levi made this kind of face when Francisca praised Levon. Aw, Levi. Was it even possible for Ash to sulk when he was older than me? Levi was sometimes childish, so he probably couldn't help it. Ash. I tried to get him to cheer up, but was immediately interrupted. Ah, this guy.
Uh-oh. Damn, you guys use cheap glass here.
You're drinking way too much. Waitress, can you clean this up? Sure. The customer had dropped his glass onto the floor. He had been coming here quite often these past few days. He was with a woman today and was rather drunk. He had some nerve drinking so much during the day. I glanced at Ash to apologize as I went to clean out the broken glass. Are you sure you want to ignore your girlfriend?
Stop talking about stuff that'll ruin the mood. It's fine. I can finally drink here because she's gone.
Oh, okay, so that stayed canonical. Because I remember the woman that used to work here chased him out for infidelity. Interesting. Even while I was crouched down to clean up, they were still talking. Well, they were customers, and it was pointless to get mad at drunks. You could at least say you were sorry. I got slightly irritated as I thought that, and I heard someone approaching me. I wondered who it was and looked up. It's eerily quiet. Yeah, there she is! Girl, she's gonna be like, boy, you coming in here like you didn't cheat on me. Excuse you.
So that's how it is.
Ah! What the? Why are you here?
This is the worst. I could sense an impending fight coming on. She was the girl who used to work here before me. Yup.
You cheater! You're the worst!
No! It's not what it looks like! Right?
I'm staying out of this. You two deal with it on your own. See ya.
Hey, wait!
You're the one that has to wait! Even while I'm working my butt off, you went and got yourself another woman?
I said it's not what it looks like.
I don't believe you! You cheater! Go to hell!
What? You don't get to say that to me! It all started because you were always at work!
Huh? What? You want to blame me for that?
Awkward smile. I wonder if in this time, I can't remember when that happened in the main story where Jed, catches the cheater, catches him for her. Maybe that didn't happen this time because she's been working here instead of as a handyman? I don't know. I'm curious where that happens in the stream of time. The couple started arguing while I was still crouched on the floor. What should I do? I felt I should stop them, but I didn't want to get involved.
I quit my job because I hated how we didn't have time for each other. And yet you're...
Just be quiet. I always hated how annoying you were.
What did you say? You're saying this now?
Look around you. After you quit and they got new help, the tavern got so much nicer.
What?
Hey, don't you think so?
What? I got dragged into the mess without knowing it. That really was out of line. I was almost certain that she was working really hard. Otherwise, you wouldn't last even for a day. I was about to give him a piece of my mind when...
Oh.
She must have been really shocked. The girl was crying, her voice muffled.
You're terrible. I worked so hard.
Oh, I really didn't mean that, you know.
Even so, there are things you shouldn't say.
What? I thought you didn't like me.
That's not true. This place was a big success when you were here. I think some customers left when I took over. I even have time to chat nowadays.
Really? Do you really think so?
Yeah. She seemed to be calming down. The man did as well and was looking slightly awkward at the situation. You quit because you didn't have time to see him, right?
Yeah.
At first, I thought you were selfish, but now I totally understand.
I'm sorry. I felt lonely because I couldn't see you. But there's nothing between me and the girl from earlier. She's really just someone I hang out with.
But you never want to see me.
When I heard you quit, I was happy, but I felt sorry that it was my fault. I couldn't bring myself to see you. I felt ashamed. Please, forgive me!
She was still pouting a bit. It was like she couldn't bring herself to forgive him yet. I was sure they both loved each other very much. That much I could tell. You have to be honest with yourself here.
But...
You both love each other, don't you? I knew I was getting nosy, but I wanted people who loved each other very much to stay together.
I'm forgiving you just this time, okay?
Yeah, I promise.
After saying that, the two hugged. Hooray! Everybody else is like, yay! The other customers were watching with bated breath, and they all cheered and applauded at the same time. Drinks all around! The owner came out of the kitchen.
Sorry about that. It's my fault for making you work so much.
It's okay. I'm sorry for quitting so suddenly, too.
Speaking of which, do you mind if you came back and worked for me?
Huh?
I'll decrease your shifts, even by half if you want. So please.
Yes, gladly.
An even bigger cheer came from the crowd. It seemed all was well that ended well. The two of them hugged once more, not even hiding how happy they were, and with the blessings of everyone around them. That's nice. If I ever were to have a lover, would I be like that? Although it would be too embarrassing to do that in public. Whoops! Speaking of lovers, I left Ash hanging. He was quite irritated when this commotion started. With the couple made up behind me, I returned to the usual spot. Oh, that's true. He was irritated, and then all of a sudden... Did he get us fired, by the way? Or did he just get our shifts put in half so that we had more time for him? I'm suspicious now that he wrote this whole scenario out. Squint. With the couple made up behind me, I returned to the usual spot. Sorry, Ash. It turned into a huge commotion.
To be honest with yourself.
Huh? What was that? Because the customers were still cheering, I couldn't make out Ash's mumblings.
It's nothing. Anyway, do you have some time tonight?
Tonight? I'm sure it's fine.
That's good. Then we'll meet again then. There's something I want to talk to you about.
Are you being honest, Ash? After saying that, Ash left his table. This was the first time he left while I was still working. I was sure it would be fine. He was smiling a bit more. But I wonder what he wants to talk about. What could it be? After finishing work, I was restless in my room. Usually I take a bath and go to sleep, but I promised to meet Ash tonight. He never came back after that. Another person sat at his usual table, and I felt reluctant serving it. Should I just wait here? Or should I go and see him? Right when I was starting to get even more impatient, I heard a knock on my door. Guess that answers that.
Sorry, did I keep you waiting?
No, not at all. I tried to hide how impatient I'd been.
That's good. Now let's go.
Where?
It's a surprise.
Okay. He took my hand as we headed into town. The fog wasn't that thick, but I could barely see Ash's back. I doubted he'd go too far. That was what I thought. And yet... Okay, snowdrop, field, or tower? He led me through the town and into the forest. Ash?
Just keep following.
He cut me off. I'd been through this forest by myself when I still lived in the tower. There were times when I walked through it even later. But I wondered why the forest felt so scary today. Without knowing, I gripped Ash's hand tighter.
We're almost there. There it is.
I looked up and saw a bright white light. It was an open area of the forest where it appeared snow had piled up. But I was wrong. I walked a little further and felt something soft at my feet. It wasn't the cold feeling of snow. It was something much warmer than that. Snowdrop field? Okay, this time it's the snowdrop field. The fog lifted above the white light. My vision cleared and I saw a field of snowdrop flowers.
I wanted to show this to you.
Ash smiled as I stood there speechless. I didn't know. I'd lived in this town and this forest for so long, but I never knew there was a place like this. The town was covered in snow year-round, and I couldn't believe there was a place where flowers bloomed. I didn't know there was a place like this.
I was surprised when I first saw it too.
So why did you bring me here?
Well,
It wasn't often Ash hesitated to speak. He covered his mouth in a way that made it seem like he was embarrassed rather than troubled.
to be honest,
Damn, okay.
I've fallen in love with you.
Did the wind get louder all of a sudden? That was so sudden.
You said that I have to be honest with myself.
Yes.
That's why I've decided to be honest and to tell you how I feel.
But... The first thing that came out of my mouth was rejection. But how am I supposed to follow from there? But I'm a witch? No, I'm not a witch. My eye didn't turn red anymore. But I'm a man? That wasn't it either. Since I was no longer a witch, I didn't need to dress as a man. I could be a girl for as long as I wanted. I really didn't know how to continue. The only thing in my heart right now... Aww. I'm so happy. I was happy that Ash thought of me that way. I was happy that he fell for the girl me. Aww. So wholesome. I could feel heat in my cheeks. You know, kudos to this man for taking her to a nice place to confess his feelings. I appreciate. To be honest, if we're going with the honest train, I wanted to tell him about my own feelings. I tried to find the right words. I also like you.
Really?
I nodded slightly. My heart pounds when we're close. I feel lonely when I'm separated from you. I do want to be with you more. It's the first time I felt this way, so I'm not sure. But maybe this is love.
Yes, that's love.
So, this is it. Yes, I'm in love with you, Ash.
That makes me happy.
Ash smiled at my answer. His smile filled my heart with happiness. Just as the snowdrops fell at my feet, it was as if I was floating on air. That's love.
I want to touch you. Do you mind if I embrace you?
He asked so reservedly, but I couldn't refuse the intensity behind the words. I wanted to feel more of this happiness. If he held me, maybe I'll feel it more. Yes. Ash's arms held me gently, as if he was protecting something precious. He was warm. Not cold, eh? Interesting. He's warm. Hey, we got all the CGs. Aw. Look at these goobers. Hugging it out. Are those feathers? Alright, Sephiroth, I see you.
Being next to you makes me feel at ease.
He whispered into my ear. I felt the same way. I never knew how I could feel at ease just by someone holding me like this. Having someone by my side like this.
I want you to see more of me. I want to talk to you more. I want to touch you more. You make me feel that way.
But we've just met.
It's such a strange thing. That's why I want to be with you. I want you to read my stories.
Among Ash's stories, one left a strong impression on me. It was the ordinary love story of an ordinary girl. Just a little while ago, I longed to be like that girl, and now I was.
I'm sorry.
Why are you apologizing?
You reading my story means that I will have to take your own away from you. I have stolen the stories that you were about to read.
That's not true. I read them because I wanted to. I wanted to see you. I went to the tavern on my own. and I took up your stories with my own hands. Ash brought me closer to him. I got the feeling that he was shaking just slightly.
I've been traveling all alone. It was a lonesome journey.
Yes.
That's why I feel so happy that you accepted me.
Me too. I'm happy that I'm with you, Ash. Ash said that he was lonesome, but I was likely the same. I faked my identity, and no one knew the real me. It felt so lonely that no one would know who I was as a girl. Ash's face was close to mine. In his eyes, I saw myself as a woman. Only Ash saw me as a woman. In this particular timeline. Although rip Levon. The wind blew and the snowdrop petals danced up in the air. They engulfed me, separating us into our own worlds, taking us somewhere far away.
This scene is like a fairy tale.
Yes, it's beautiful. I know. I'll say farewell to my past right here and now. The snowdrop petals and this man in whose arms I was made me decide that. After I returned to town, I would write a letter. I'd thank Francisca for everything until now. No. Jed no longer existed. He was gone from this town. Unless I did that, I couldn't return to being a girl. I had to give up everything about Jed. The days I spent as Jed, and all the people I knew flashed before my eyes. When I thought that, tears came to my eyes. But even so...
What's the matter?
He looked worried, but it was all right. It was nothing to worry about. I'm happy that I'm able to do this. Ash returned my smile with one of his own. And on this day, in this town closed in winter, a boy and a witch vanished, and a girl who lived in happiness was born. Aww. She said goodbye to her other self. Ah, and that's how it ended. Huh. I was not expecting something so wholesome. Like, that was definitely more wholesome than Hugh's ending. So, I'll take that. I was expecting Hugh to pull some kind of lore nonsense and be like, I've erased her memories and now she is this new character and it's fine. I mean, the town continued and presumably the Kaleidovia was just not found and they're like, well, I guess we're having the masquerade without it, and Algar didn't go crazy and Francisca didn't die, and as far as everybody else is concerned, Jed just disappeared. And Levon was a lot less... what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, hey, we got butterflies. We got butterflies this time. Less observant this time about her being a girl. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll accept that. Look at this boy getting his own unique ending credits with butterflies. Like he's special or something. Gosh, I do love Hugh though. I'm a sucker for his, like, I've been alone for so long and now I finally found love. I'm like, aw, he did, didn't he? I've been so on guard every time though, because I'm like, are you just feeding me lines or like, are you for real? I think he is being sincere about that. It's just, interesting. Hello? There it is. Blissful girl. Unlocked the Traveler's End. Oh, my springtime has gone away. We're back in winter, boys and girls. Well, rip Lugus, I guess. And this boy, Ash, is still as snooty as ever, the rudest. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. I enjoyed that. I definitely enjoyed it more than Hugh's ending. I don't know where this is going to go on my list, though. My list is such a mess right now at the top. I don't know how I'm going to put this together. I got one more route to figure it out, I suppose. But that is going to have to wait for another time. Because now it's back to Taisha Alice I go, and Mr. Wizard is waiting for me, which I'm very excited about. And then we'll come back for another Hugh-filled ending and see what we get there. Thanks again for joining me, guys. Until next time, I will see you later.